You're listening to 101.1 FM WBRULP, WFOOLP, WVVXLP Providence. I'm your co-host, Dhruv
And I'm your co-host, Alejandro Jackson.
And this is the Outta Pocket Podcast,
where we pull conversation topics out of our pocket
and occasionally go out of pocket.
On today's show, we're talking about our Spotify/Apple Music recaps for the year and ranking/digesting some of our favorite songs, albums, and playlists of the year. So with that being said, let's get into it.
Yeah, so I think first of all, I doubt it needs an introduction, but we might as well give it anyway. So, music has become a lot more accessible in the last 20 years.
Yeah, watch episode 6 of the Outta Pocket Podcast.
Yeah, no, actually. And with that sort of accessibility that has come with, especially with streaming music on demand.
Actually, wait. Sorry, pause. I'm very sorry to interrupt. Two things. One, I think we deserve a very happy, we're late by 2 days, but listen, bear with us. Happy 1-year anniversary of the Outta Pocket Podcast.
You're so right, man. I forgot.
November 29th, 2021, the podcast was born officially. So, I'm not going to lie, pat ourselves on the back.
True. We kept it up for a year. And hopefully more.
And second, it's our 30th episode. This is our 30th episode. So.
Oh wow!
So I think
two big milestones.
I know. I think you wanted to mention that before we, just at the start of the episode. But I'll probably deliver a more, thought out and genuine thank you at the end of the episode to all the people who listen. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Nah, it's all good. So Spotify Wrapped. So definitely in the So, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Like the last 20 years.
Yeah, last 20 years. And I mean, it's all part of a larger trend, right? Like in 1850, if you wanted to listen to Rachmaninoff Prelude in C# minor, bro, there was only one way you were going to get it. You had to go to a concert where someone was playing it. Obviously, super inaccessible. But it got better and you got vinyl technology, the phonograph, whatever. And music technology kept making these advancements. Then you got cassettes, CDs, and now we're kind of in the era of digital music and streaming. And as a result of that, I guess we're able to do some pretty neat things in terms of tracking what we listen to and sort of seeing if we can discern larger trends from that. And that's kind of what Spotify seeks to do, and Apple Music and YouTube Music now apparently they're also they also hopped in on the trend, but also what was I about to say? SoundCloud rappers, you're so right, dude. But yeah, it gives us sort of it tells us something we want to know about ourselves, sort of it gives us fun facts I listen to this artist the most, because these are things you keep track of but not super intensely. You could say I like this artist, but these sort of statistics give us a tangible I have listened to this artist the most, or I've listened to this album the most this year, so it's very fun. I was actually thinking about this earlier today. So, I feel you and I grew up a lot, not just on the music coming out as we were growing up, but definitely with older music too. And I feel that's something that's very much only a result of the increased accessibility of music.
I think so too.
Yeah,
radio.
Exactly, radio.
Most of the songs I know are my mom used to she used to plug a USB into the car.
Yeah, man. My dad had an MP3 player.
And aux and playlists.
An MP3 player, and we had there was a cassette that had an aux cord coming out of it, and you could put the cassette into the cassette player with the aux cord, and it played. It's pretty cool, but yeah, as a result of that. No, I was actually thinking about this. This is like tangential, but when we were listening to like songs from the 80s or whatever, those songs were maybe like 20, 30 years at the oldest, right? I'm still gonna like it makes me like wonder what songs are gonna stand the test of time, right? Because like I'm still gonna listen to like Queen and Van Halen and whatever, like Metallica, when I'm like, you know, in my middle ages and I have kids. But at that point, those kids are gonna be listening to music that's like 60, almost 70 years old, right?
Yeah, I think like
no, or maybe not 60.
You and I are both Frank Sinatra enjoyers, and I think if that can stand the test of time, then like Metallica.
And that's interesting, right? Because we like Frank Sinatra.
I mean, damn, bro, you be listening to Rachmaninoff or whatever.
Bruh.
Not me though.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that like as music becomes more accessible, like we're able to interact with older music more easily. And that means that even our kids are going to be like probably listening to Frank Sinatra or whatever. At that point for them, it's going to be like over 100 years old.
Here's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Throwback to episode, I don't remember what it was. It was like 15 ... question mark, whichever one was the reading one. It's 12 or 15.
Reading Rainbow?
Yeah. Do you think there should be a music canon?
That's what I was thinking. So there very much is.
Okay.
Already, like
better music canon.
Yeah, and that's like all these sort of like.
Actually, we did talk about that in episode 6 about. I think we talked about in some episode about the westernization of music and how.
That might have been the music episode itself, but yeah, in terms of like having a musical canon.
Actually, you might have said that in the Reading Rainbow episode as a comparison. Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyways.
There is very much a repertoire of classical music that, you know, depending on what instrument you play, you know, you've probably heard of / at a certain level are kind of expected to know.
Ode to Joy.
Like, yeah, Ode to Joy. Like, you know, violinists have Paganini's Caprices. Like, pianists have...
Isn't that a food?
Bro, that's a caprese salad, bro. Get out of here.
I'm asking a joke.
That's the kind of joke that I would make, bro. Leave the trashy puns to me,
dude.
Bro.
Straight up in my music theory class freshman year, my professor goes, "What's a canon?" I said a camera.
That's hilarious.
And then he asked something else. He was like, there's like these types of music. There was like a canon or something else.
A fugue?
No. Oh, is it chorale?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said like the chorale was like,
bro.
I mean, I genuinely was like,
that's funny. Anyway, yeah, like you got that. Like pianists have Chopin, so like.
Chopin?
I feel like our roles are switched. Like, remember last episode, you were saying serious things and I was just like off my rocker. Our roles have been switched.
I'm not gonna lie, I just don't like classical music, so I will.
That's fair.
I will.
That's fair. But like, let's update it. Like, classical jazz has like, you know, very much set canon artists. Duke Ellington,
Watermelon Man on that.
I mean, Watermelon Man is straight heat. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, but yeah, like classical. I mean, that's definitely like later on. But
I know.
Classical jazz very much had like Duke Ellington, like Louis Armstrong, Glenn. Oh, what's his name? Glenn Miller. But you know what I mean. Benny Goodman. All like the
guy
kings.
From Whiplash.
The guy from Whiplash?
Yeah.
Sure, bro. Okay. All right. You get what I'm saying.
Charlie Parker.
Yeah, Charlie Parker. Yeah.
Symbol at his head.
I haven't watched Whiplash, bro.
You haven't watched Whiplash?
I haven't watched Whiplash.
You haven't watched Whiplash?
I have not watched
You're
Whiplash.
You're a music nerd and you haven't watched Whiplash?
I listen to music from Whiplash, but I have not seen the movie.
All right, we're ending this podcast right
now.
Bro,
we're going to go watch it. Sorry, guys.
We'll catch you guys later on the next episode.
Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. There's like, I mean, let's take it even further. Classic rock. There's kind of a canon with classic rock. Like Elvis. Yeah, this like very much stands out. But there's also, because this is also like indicative of another trend. Creating music got way easier.
SoundCloud.
Yeah, no, and that's why there's like 10 bajillion SoundCloud rappers, you know, and like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it was easier to start a band relatively then than it was to start some sort of music group in like the 20s. So the number of artists in the canon grew, but there's still very much, you know, a canon, and there's like some really interesting music history things about like sort of what stayed mainstream and what sort of evolved, like, and what, because in the 90s, rock very much bifurcated into like what you would consider, you know, like normal rock or even like pop rock, and then alt rock, and like alt rock became a bunch of things. Like grunge, you got grunge. I mean, even in the 80s, you got metal, heavy rock. Like, there's a lot of music history things that are very cool and very interesting. But that's not what this episode's about. This episode is about Spotify Wrapped, and sort of getting back on topic here. I genuinely think that, you know, it tells us something interesting about ourselves that we normally don't take the effort to sort of think about or like keep track of, and that's why everyone sort of like is so interested in it when it drops, and everyone posts it, and then there's like sort of contrarian like reactionists who are like, God, I don't want to see your Spotify Wrapped, and then there's like the countercurrent to that countercurrent that's like, yes, everyone do post your Spotify Wrapped, I want to see, and it's like, but it's undeniable that like these things that have only really come to be
countercurrent to the countercurrent,
yeah,
the counter squared current,
bruh, when did I think like the first Spotify Wrapped I remember was like 2018.
I don't know, bro.
Maybe before that, but actually it's a quick Google search away. When was the first Spotify Wrapped? 2016. Okay, yeah, 2016 was the first official quote unquote.
I see.
Spotify Wrapped.
When the year the world fell apart.
Yeah, we kind of entered the bad timeline with that one. R.I.P. Harambe, bro.
For real.
DOFH. That's an internet throwback.
Oh, I just realized. Yeah, okay.
But anyway, yeah. So this has only really become a thing last 5-6 years, and it definitely has increasingly taken the world by storm. Especially since now I feel like, at least among people of our age, it is almost expected that if you listen to music in any form, you have some subscription to a music streaming service, whether that be, you know, Apple Music, Spotify.
Why you say that so like judgmentally?
No, dog, I was just processing in my mind.
You're
Calm
like,
down.
Apple Music.
I paused, bro. Pause. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon. What else is there? Savan for my Daisies. SoundCloud. You don't need a subscription to SoundCloud, do you?
No, I just keep saying SoundCloud.
What else is there? And there's also like all sorts of like random ones that like aren't really in use anymore. R.I.P. Pandora. Like Napster, like Deezer, Bandcamp. Bandcamp is for you and your indie soft boys, bro. I'm getting drop on the new on the new car seat headrest from Bandcamp.
I'll be listening to car seat headrest from my...
Alright, bro. Like Peach Pit.
Peach Pit's fire. First of all.
I'm not arguing with you. But anyway. Yeah. So, you got anything to say?
Nah, fire breakdown. Alright, no. What about your Spotify Wrapped?
Let's move on to the next...
Do you want me to...
No, you go first. I've been talking for a while.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to preface this by saying...
So...
Please don't crucify me. If you catch me out on campus, don't come for my throat. Just leave me be, alright? I'm an Apple Music supremacist.
Also, I think now would be an interesting time to sort of talk about what the differences between the two are, because I feel like
Spotify is better, like, pretty much in every way, except Apple Music pays their artists more. Anyways.
No, I mean, yes, that's that, like, in terms of the streaming services, but I'm talking specifically about the Wrapped. Like, when I look at a Spotify Wrapped, I get top artists, top songs, genres, minutes listened. And there's like some other assorted stuff that kind of like changes from years to year, year to year. But that's about it. I think you also get top albums, if I'm not mistaken.
Playlists.
And top playlists. But the way the Spotify algorithm works is sort of like total plays in play history for like a certain window of time. But from the way you explained Apple Music to me, it's different, right?
It's like the amount of times you like. There's 2 buttons when you go into an album or a playlist. There's 2 buttons at the top. There's play or shuffle, and anytime you click either of those, I guess 8 tracks.
Okay.
But
interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Anyways, so essentially, Apple Music hasn't had it's Apple Music Replay. Replay.music.apple.com if any of you Apple Music listeners want to go check your replay. And Apple Music has not had one for the longest time, and I think they got sick of being bullied. So, because it's been it's been pretty traditional to shit on Apple Music enjoyers because they don't have a replay at the end of the year, and Apple Music got tired of seeing their supporters get slandered and libeled and labeled,
and then they did y'all dirty by jacking up the price, bro. Explain that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. Yeah, low-key. But anyways, so yeah, so I guess I'll go with my replay, even though tradition. So I've been labeled by some friends last semester as an indie soft boy, which I don't think is the case, but
yeah. In terms of your music taste, you got a solid 60% indie soft boy in there.
True. Anyways, bro, I'm getting disrespected out here.
I'm kidding. Or maybe it's closer to 40% now that I think about it. But.
Okay. I've listened to 1,840 songs this year. And one thing my Apple Music taught about me is that this year has been a dark year. With my top song being... my top song of the year being The Rumbling from Attack on Titan Season 4. With 369 plays.
I would judge, but we're going to get to my Wrapped in a second.
So, just, if you ever see a boy in the street, look out for it. I'm joking, I'm okay, I promise.
Bruh.
My second I can't say this on air. My second song is another song from Attack on Titan, whose title is a bit of a boyish, like it's from the mind of a teenager.
Yeah.
But it's from season 2 when Bertolt and Reiner transform, or when they... oops. If you haven't seen Attack on Titan...
Oh, man. First of all, what are you doing? Second of all...
My bad. Spoilers. Skip 15 seconds. It's from when Bertolt and Reiner betray the boys and they transform.
R.I.P. Marco, bro.
Yeah.
Marco.
But anyways, that's the song. Number 3 is One Scale by Young Dolph featuring G Herbo. 293 plays. Oh, the other song before this, 298. This song, I don't know why it's so high. Vendetta, 182. And then Okay Okay by Kanye, 179. So those are my top 5. And I'm not going to lie, those are all in a certain playlist that... yeah. But
what about your minutes listen?
So, actually, this is it. Oh, and then just some extras. Number 7, Are You Mine by Arctic Monkeys, 157. Number 10, Oficial de Enamorado, 143. Yeah, my minutes listened, it doesn't say here. I know what it... let me check my photos real quick. If I'm not mistaken, it was... Actually, I'm not. I think it was 63,500 and... Wait. 65,563.
That's a lot of music.
Yeah, so I did the... Well, I didn't do the math. I put it in Google, but it's 1.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've seen some people who have a lot higher than me, so...
Yeah, no, I've seen those people too, but also, like...
What you be doing?
First of all, like, shout out Matheny. she be like getting in the 100,000s plus, but what she does is she's always playing Taylor Swift without the volume on repeat, so that Taylor Swift gets the streams, bro. I don't get it either, but
anyways,
I'm sorry for flaming you on the podcast, Maiden.
Nah,
I still love you, but what are you doing, bro?
Not Taylor, please. I listen to 827 artists. Number 1, The Weeknd, with 5,575 minutes. Number 2 is Kanye West, which is a surprise, to be honest. I wasn't expecting that one. But 2,806 minutes. Number 3, we can't talk about that one. Let's just say his name's King.
He's the greatest to ever do it.
He's the greatest to ever do it. Named King Bar. Moving on. Number 3 is actually the, I guess, composer of a lot of the AOT songs. Number 5, Celia Cruz, Cuban queen. Reign supreme. R.I.P. Rest in peace. Hope you're doing good. And some extras. Juan Luis is number 6. The Strokes is 7. Arctic Monkeys is 8. El Gran Combo is 9. Willie Colon is 10. So, yeah, that was from my Latin music playlist arc. Top albums, Dawn FM by The Weeknd, 732 plays. If you do the math, that's a little over 2 plays a day, like for the entire year.
Which is wild, because, like, I don't even know when you would have had time to do that, but...
So, like, my friend and I from back home, my best friend and I from back home, we like, actually measure increments of time and how many times we can play Dawn FM. So, like, a car ride to Orlando is, like, 4 plays of Dawn FM. So, like, a lot of times, like, when I would take, like, flights home from Boston, I'd be like, okay, the flight's 3 hours, which means I have to listen to Dawn FM 3 times.
Right.
So, like...
Here's what I would do. When I was on a flight, I'd be like, okay, 2.5 hour flight. I got enough time for an after-hours Dawn FM 1-2 punch combo.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, bro, listening to those 2 albums in succession, crazy experience.
Yeah. So that was my most played album. 732, and then my second most played was 114. Third is 67. Fourth is After Hours of 47. Yeah, the other 3 and 5 aren't really playlists. They're just Apple's weird way of grouping together stuff. Anyways, you listen to 22 playlists, some played over and over. My top playlist with 9,018 minutes is my Latin music playlist. Lo que me hace mover. Number 2, number 2 is 7,143 minutes. And that's I'm not gonna lie, it's my Menacehood playlist. But anyways, you didn't hear that from me.
Bruh.
Forget I said anything. 3 and 4. Let's not talk about that. We don't talk about 3 and 4.
Oh no.
And 5 is the playlist that has gotten me labeled as an indie soft boy, which is a playlist I put together a while ago. I don't even remember. And it's called The Synergistic Harmony of Cloudy Melodies and Blue Sky Rhythms. So those
yeah, that's a playlist in indie soft boy.
Hey. Get off my back, bro. So that is my Apple Music replay, essentially.
Yeah. Any, like, observations? Question mark?
I apparently was going through it this year more than I thought. That's my observation. And I've become more Cuban since getting to Brown. Those are my two observations.
I respect that. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have listened to more Desi music since I got to Brown than I ever did at home.
Facts.
But let's see here. So on Spotify Wrapped, I'm only like I don't have the full like detailed loadout like you do, but I'm just
loadout.
Hmm?
What do you mean?
Like you were like saying like you were able to see like minutes listened to per album per whatever.
Yeah.
I only got like the sort of reductive view, or at least the quick glance at a Spotify Wrap that people post on their stories. So I got in terms of top artists, number 1, The Weeknd, Tracks, very much so. Number 2, The Goats, Tupperware Remix Party, aka Twerp. Probably
that's what they stand.
That's what it stands for. Potentially one of the best bands to ever do it. Still doing it. They're great. Like low key, Twerp just makes the kind of music that I want to hear.
I'm not gonna lie, I listened to that one single that came out that I feel like has the word blue in it.
Bright Blue Sky. Don't be dissing Bright Blue Sky on
pretty mid, bro.
This episode is over, bro. Get out.
You can talk to me when you watch Whiplash.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
You get out first.
Fair enough. But anyway, despite your wrong take on Twerp, it's still my number 2. Number 3, I've been listening to a lot more Kendrick this year than usual. So number 3, Kendrick Lamar. Number 4, Bruno Mars. Probably.
What an L.
Probably not because of Bruno Mars himself, but more because of Silk Sonic. Like the Silk Sonic album definitely grew on me. When I first listened to it, I thought it was pretty mid. But every sort of like subsequent re-listen, I'm like, hey, this is alright. And yeah, now like that album is definitely, I think, one of the better albums to come out of 2022.
Number 5. Fetty Wap.
Brett. And number 5 for me was the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which also definitely tracks. I was expecting Green Day to be up there because I've been listening to the American Idiot album a lot this year, but I guess not. A lot more artists I was expecting to get up there that weren't there, but there is an explanation for that I'll get to in a minute. As for my top songs, surprisingly, my top song of the year is Less Than Zero by The Weeknd off of Dawn FM. So, moral to be learned, you boys also been going through it. But I didn't expect it to get so high on the list because, like, I haven't listened to it, or I haven't had it on repeat like that since probably, like, February, March. But I definitely did listen to it a lot in the early months of 2022. Number 2, you and I are in the same boat here. My number 2 was also the Rumbling theme song, Attack on Titan, final season. Long story short, we have a lot of pent-up rage, bro. That song is a song of pent-up rage. But it gets you squat PRs. And that's what matters. Anyway, number 3 was Freaks and Geeks by Childish Gambino.
That's a surprise. To be honest. That's a surprise.
That's a surprise.
It's a fire song.
It's like, a great song.
It is, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like characteristic of like my top songs is that they're like kind of short. Like easy to replay.
Is Freaks and Geeks not short?
Freaks and Geeks like 4 damn minutes, bro.
Dog, I have had longer songs. I listen to much longer songs.
I'm talking like less than 3.
Fair enough. Anyway, 4 was Heartless by The Weeknd, and 5 was Pets by Twerp. Minutes listened was 34,700, which tracks because, like, I only usually listen to music when I'm walking from place to place or, like, going somewhere, or I only listen to music when I'm working if that work requires like you know, kind of less brain power. Like if I'm reading something or trying to like watch something or pay attention, I can't be listening to music at the same time because I'll just get too into the music and too distracted. But if I'm doing something like, I don't know, like translating Latin or like doing math or whatever, and I just need some background like noise so that I can do some busy work, I play music. So I don't think it's that big of a surprise that I'm in like the 34,000 range. Definitely more than average, I would say, but I don't think like not close to where you were with the 60,000, and definitely not close to some of like the 100,000 pluses.
I know.
And my top genre was rock. Now the reason The Weeknd has been my even before I really classified myself as a Weeknd fan, The Weeknd has been my number one artist on Spotify Wrapped for like the past 4 years, pretty much since 2018 when I got Spotify. And the reason for that is because your boy made the mistake, or not necessarily the mistake, but I put 4 Weeknd songs on my workout playlist way back in 2018 when I started like trying to get more serious with my fitness. And like the ratio of like back then my workout playlist was maybe like 11 songs, 12 songs. Now it's like 50, 60 songs easy. But yeah, back then the ratio of like 1/3 of your playlist being Weeknd, it adds up. It adds up pretty fast. And
I get my Weeknd doses straight from the source. 7:32 Dawn FM plays.
You know.
And that's not counting like the Dawn FM song. So like this is what you're saying. Like like any Dawn FM songs that you put in your playlist and you like listen to them there don't count as like album plays.
Right.
So I've listened to the album. God knows how many times.
Yeah. It's a great album.
In the words of The Weeknd, I can't get it out of my head.
Anyway, so yeah, like, so the reason the Weeknd's been number one, he's on my workout playlist. The reason Kendrick Lamar and Red Hot Chili Peppers are higher than, frankly, people who I've, like, sort of looked up more this year and listened to. Like, I've actually been listening to a lot of Denzel Curry in the last 2 weeks. Just getting into his music. It's pretty gas, at least the new album. But, anyway. It's my workout playlist. It is purely because that playlist, in a sheer numbers game, is sort of dominant in my, like, I play it at least 5 or 6 times a week for an hour, give or take. And it's just, like, it is hype music. It is music that gets me amped and, like, pumped. But I'm also not really, like, when I'm in the gym, I'm not listening to the music per se. I just need something to like distract from the suffering. But yeah, or like give me that extra like hype that I need to push through. Either way, I've actually been thinking about this a lot, and I feel like my Spotify Wrapped would be vastly different if my like workout playlist was sort of weighted accordingly. Like if there was some way to tweak the algorithm to say like or like you could manually go in and say rerun like the algorithm except exclude all data or like maybe say like cut the data in half for all like plays from your workout playlist, and that would give you like a more accurate view of your listening habits for the year. And this sort of ties into another point about Spotify Wrapped that that's been sort of on my mind and I've been thinking about, because it is such like fun information to get, and like everyone sort of relates, and we're like, oh, like my listening habits are this, what are yours? Yeah, okay, bro, whatever, bro. and it sort of, like, brings us all together like that.
Unless you're on Apple Music. Some people are like, ew, you listen to Apple Music? You're so disgusting.
We need a scapegoat, and Apple Music is that scapegoat.
Damn.
Anyway, I genuinely think that we would, as a society, be willing to, like, everyone sort of says, I don't want, like, corporations and whatever getting more privacy data on me. Like, in general, like, we have this sort of ideal that we are entitled to our privacy, and in the advent of sort of like big data, that has definitely like shifted, and like what privacy means has shifted, especially because like things like our listening habits or our search habits on the internet or our location are, you know, data required, you know, for services that we use, like, you know, Google Maps. You need to have your phone be capable of connecting to GPS to, you know, accurately use Google Maps. Unless, you know, you want to pull like a quick like dinosaur move and like whip out like an atlas or a map, and you're like, oh, we gotta go down to 85. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that like we say that we don't want to give up our data, but we already do to such a great extent. And I think
that's what's a little more.
And that's the thing. I think for something like Spotify Wrapped, people would genuinely say, what's a little more? If you wanted to, like, I don't know, if you wanted, like, if Spotify were to add, like, sort of, and this is where you listen to music the most.
I know, like, that's what I said.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Geotagging.
If you started geotagging your playlists or, like, data like that.
Apple will be doing stuff like that.
Apple is terrifying.
No, because but like it's like within the phone. Like, so like you open the phone, and it'll like, if you there's a certain menu I'd have to go to, but it'll tell you like, it'll like tell you where you are, and it'll be like, oh, this is where you are. Like, I know you listen to this like like when you're usually here.
Huh?
Yeah, they do stuff like that. Or
wow.
Like, it's like it'll tell you like time of day, and it'll be like it usually gives me like recommends me podcasts to listen to at night, because they're like, you usually listen to podcasts at like 2 a.m.
That's interesting.
Which is true, because I listen to stuff before I go to bed. Or they'll be like, yeah. So like over winter break, I'd like wake up and they'd be like, usually play this, because usually I would wake up and like play music as soon as I woke up. And they'd be like, time to listen to your playlist. So I'd have to see. Right now, I guess because I don't be listening to music in the podcast room, so they don't really know right now. But so yeah, get your bread up, Spotify. Start geotagging your listeners.
Hey, either way, that was just an example, or like other things, you know, like time of day. Other sort of data.
Oh, yeah, Apple will be doing that too.
Other sort of data that people would be interested to like. So I think people would be willing to give up that data to Spotify to get like a more comprehensive wrap, and it raises a couple of, you know, ethical concerns. It raises
the drop on your spot.
Yeah, raises some moral.
We got the drop on your spot. Shout out to Kashi.
Okay, bro. All right.
What?
If we're talking about getting the drop on someone, there's only one true goat.
I know, but I gotta gatekeep the good stuff. I don't know.
2 words, bro. Lil, drop top. Is drop top a word? Is it 1 word or 2?
He writes it as 1 word.
All right.
Damn, bro, you really just dropped. You just really give the drop on drop top, bro.
That's the thing, bro. But if he's getting the drop on his ops, we gotta drop. I don't know where I'm going with this.
He gave the drop on himself.
That is true.
I got put in witness protection and still was like, hey,
I'm in Britain.
I'm in London. But anyways, there's this upper echelon of artists that I refuse to make public. Well, I mean, I guess I will not name any names, but I guess you already did one for me, but yes, there's this upper echelon of artists that I shall forever keep to myself. It's only for the boys.
I respect it.
And for who I marry.
Hey, yo. I respect it. I was about to make a really bad joke, but...
Nah, you know what? Low-key, I'm like, how much do I care about this podcast?
Nah. No, anyway, it's okay. It's okay.
Just consider who's listening.
Yeah. Which is what I'm not going to say. But,
Play me, Deans, if you're listening. Hey, how's it going?
Shout out Dean Roth. She's the best. She plays bass and she listens to jazz. Bass? Yeah.
Listens to jazz?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, like, you know. Oh, wait. I just dropped that. Oh, snap. Uh-oh. I just gave the drop on us.
Oh, shoot.
Speaking of
which. Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
I mean, it's too late to take that back. And by the way, I meant to tell you this because I realized this yesterday. It was real funny. I was being interviewed for something. And I told them about you, and I told them we met, and I was like, oh yeah, he's playing me too. So like, look, if that article gets published and they mention that your ass is grass, bro.
It's doing so well, man.
School-wide drop.
It's doing school-wide drop on you. So well. That's tough. Anyway, it's our year anniversary, bro. It's time for time for the leak, time for the drop. But
oops. Well, I didn't mean to do that one, but for all of you who are listening and don't know, if you're pre-med, I'm so sorry.
Aw, man.
We're pre-meds. Anyways, the joke was supposed to be that because the pre-med deans were all talking about professionalism and stuff yesterday.
Yeah.
In the meeting that we were in, and I was just thinking, like, what is my professionalism rating based on the podcast?
I feel like our professionalism rating has slid down from the initial days of the podcast.
For sure, because I think...
Because back in the day, I remember I was talking to my dean, and she was like, oh yeah, like, you know, we've sort of been, like, listening to the podcast around the office. We really like it. I'm like, oh, thank you. But then again, back then, our episodes were, like music. Like, workaholic mindset. Like...
Tier list.
Yeah. It was very...
Not only that.
It was kind of polished,
but our mouths were washed with soap.
That is true. We were consciously...
Like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, how many of the plemies can the pleme dean say, I've heard that student curse? Not a lot, I'd say. I'd hope. We are not on that list. If they listen to the podcast, if they've listened to these recent episodes, we are not on that list.
We're not on this list.
And GG. And we're sorry.
Yeah. We humbly apologize.
Please. We hope you understand. It's for the entertainment. It's for the content. Please spare my
We're doing it for the bit. We're doing it for the bit.
Play me Unwrapped.
Oh, no.
Professionalism rating, 3.2 out of 10. Podcast episodes, number of podcast episodes disappointed in.
Total minutes spent taking an SNC class.
Don't rub that one in. That seems a little. Number of humanities majors going to med school.
Actually, wait, this is kind of a good idea. Wait, this would low-key be hilarious.
If any fleemers are listening to this, back up. Hold up. Yo, we should execute this.
This could be huge. Let's hit up the trifecta, Chris, Rafa, and Elia.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Could be funny. Anyway, we're getting mad off topic once again.
I'm not gonna lie. We got 17 minutes left.
That's true.
So like,
why not?
And I don't know how much more I have to say about like. I wanted to like rank some of like. About, like, because like you said, it's a little unexpected. Like, so I think. Like some of the stuff that made it to like my top were because I would just loop it all the time, but it wasn't like my favorite songs ever. Like Arctic Monkeys is hella low. Where are they? They're number 8.
Which is surprising given that,
I got their vinyl on my wall.
Yeah.
The Strokes, number 7. I got their vinyl on my wall too. The Adults Are Talking. Fire. Are You Mine? Fire. Do I Want to Know? Fire. I Want to Be Yours. Fire. So I would say my top 3 artists, at least right now where I am in my life, The Weeknd, The Strokes, Arctic Monkeys. I mean, those are the 3 artists whose vinyls are on my wall.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I can't say that. No. because like, okay, because like Juan Luis, who's what?
You keep going. I'll get to this later.
Juan Luis, who's a stellar musician, my favorite Latin artist. Well, okay, wait, I can't say that. Hold on, I'm Cuban. Wait, back up. Celia is my favorite Latin artist. However, Juan Luis is like close second. And I say that because Mans is just dropping straight poetry in his songs. It speaks to the soul. It has me contemplating my life decisions and like and what is love and ideas of relationships and romance. Like, man is just spitting. So I'm not, in terms of like I don't know, I can't say I could put him below like Arctic Monkeys or the Strokes, like, but I also like, it's a different kind of sound. So like, yeah. In terms of playlists, I'm surprised that playlist 3 and 4 were not closer to the 1, 2, or like at least one of them wasn't in the 2 spot. To be honest, I thought 3 and 4 would be 2 and 3, and that 2 would be 4. And I didn't expect 5, my 5th place, to make it into the top 5 because I didn't think that I listened to it that much this year. I was thinking it's funny. My 3rd playlist was an alt rock playlist, if that speaks anything about me. Damn, and I listened to that playlist 1,000 more minutes than I did to the 4th one, which that adds up though. That really adds up. Yeah. That tracks.
This is true.
Oh well. We'll see. It probably won't change anytime soon. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Fair enough. Anyway, what I was about to get into is sort of we sort of like say, oh, Spotify Wrapped is, and I guess that's sort of the point of this episode. Spotify Wrapped is when a lot of people, majority of people, I would be willing to say, get an insight into their listening habits based off of, streaming music. But there are definitely other places that give you that insight, either continuously or like sort of. I know one pretty common trend is like posting your Receiptify every month. There is like a website called Receiptify that sort of like posts your most played songs for the month and makes it look like a grocery store receipt pretty much. And that's one way of doing it. One other way of doing it is there's this website called Last.fm that you can I can't speak today. There's this website called Last.fm that you can
get that my tongue unwrapped, bro.
Bruh. That's a good one. I'll give you that one. But there is, you can hook it up to your Spotify account and pretty much feed your data through that. So you kind of get like a running continuous total of like your, top albums, top artists, top songs. And you also can put different time ranges on it, ranging from all time to like last 7 days to like, and all time meaning like when you first joined Last.fm. But it gives you other, further insights into your listening habits from the reason I made like a reaction earlier and you asked me what I was talking about and then I was like, hey, I'll tell you in a second, was because I made a very cursed discovery. My number 14 artist my number 15 artist is Michael Jackson with the 154 plays. and beating him out by 5 plays is Taylor Swift. I don't know how or why that happened.
No.
But I can't allow this. I'm going to, like, the moment we end this episode, I'm going to listen to 5 Michael Jackson songs.
It is unfortunate.
And rectify that.
I hope that listeners of the Outta Pocket Podcast have enjoyed our run.
Oh, man.
There was an infanticide in the studio.
Infanticide?
A man killed our baby.
Bruh.
By listening to 5 more Taylor Swift songs.
That's tough.
I can't look at him the same.
That's crazy, man. And that's wild. Cause,
Hold up. I just realized, though, I'm not gonna lie, I went to my Spotify Wrapped.
Mm-hmm.
I do have Spotify. Even though my Spotify Wrapped is mad tainted. Like, if you really want to know my Spotify Wrapped, it's like, I mean, how do you get the, like, do I have to sit through this entire story?
What's you listen primarily on Apple.
So that's the thing. My Spotify has been, this entire year has been purely for Funk Night. So my Spotify Wrapped is like, I'm pretty sure I checked the other day, my top artist is like Salt and Pepper.
Okay.
Because I listen to that song like hella.
Bum ba dum bum 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 ba da 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 da. Ooh, baby.
All that listening added up 2,877 minutes.
That's right.
So I guess I've listened. If you want to add it to my Apple Music, you do the math. I'm like 68,000 or something. That doesn't count music I listen to on YouTube. But yeah, I played 188 songs. Yada yada. Anyways, but I just saw under 2022 Wrap, they said best new podcast of 2022. Where we at, bro?
That's us.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, but another cool thing about Last FM, while we're on the subject, is it also gives you an insight into
This
like
is unfair. I'm sorry. Like the top best new podcast of 2022, Dua Lipa's is on there.
It should be us, bro.
There was.
What are they doing?
This girl's Meghan Markle, and I thought I saw Kim Kardashian. It's like, apparently, I guess she has a podcast that was up there. Oh no, that was under best episodes of 2022. But I'm like, damn, disrespect.
This is the elite privilege, bro. We need to. They got money, and that's why they're there. Where are we at?
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, as I was saying, while we're on the subject of Last FM, it also gives you really cool insight into sort of how your like habits are changing. Because even though like I have known about some songs for years and I listen to them all the time, like or I've known about some artists for years and I listen to them all the time, and they're just like clearly dominant in my listening habits. I mentioned that I started listening to Denzel Curry like 2 weeks ago. Already, apparently, I've played his songs like 83 times. And he's already my like 29th top artist, and he's probably gonna keep climbing the more I listen to him. But he's got the 2 songs of his I really like are Walkin' and The Ills. But yeah, that's probably gonna climb. But once again,
no, I get that. Yeah. 'Cause I'm pretty sure the other day I forgot. I don't know where it went. I could have sworn it was on the list of my like top songs, but I was listening to Sweet Yams by Fetty Wap like religiously over the last like week, and I'm pretty sure I got like 100 and something plays on that song.
Wow.
Hey, that song's fire. This song's hella fire. I'm not singing on this podcast, you thought. That's his job. He's the acapella.
Can I get much higher?
He's the acapella guy. It ain't for me. This playlist. Well, for those of you listening, we hope that you can pardon the chaos energy. This podcast is ridiculously chaotic, to keep it blunt, today. So, just gonna have to stick with us. Why am I speaking like this? What you looking at?
Just looking at Last FM, man. Like, the more I'm digging in, I'm like, wow.
How long have you been signed up on that thing?
Since 2020, which isn't like, which unfortunately doesn't reflect any of my listening habits from 2019 or 2018.
I mean, let's be honest. What was that, freshman and sophomore year? Yeah, nobody cares.
Nah. Here's the thing. My listening habits were way different between, like, from, like, middle school to, like, before junior year. I was listening to almost always, like, 80s or, you know, Pink Floyd, like, you know, a lot more classic rock.
I used to be a Chance the Rapper supremacist back in the day.
Yeah.
I could still spit a lot of those songs, not gonna lie, but those days are past me after he dropped his 2019 album titled I Love My Wife. That's not actually the name of the album, but basically the entire album consists of the fact that he loves his wife.
That's funny, man. But, yeah, as I was saying, like, so, like, it only reflects my listening habits since, like, the end of high school to now, which are way different because I used to listen to a lot more classic rock. And then sometime between, I'd say sophomore year and junior year, I was listening to a lot of, like, 90s and specifically grunge for some reason. But, like, yeah, I mean, there's also other websites too. I'm pretty sure there's a website called spots.spotify.com or something that gives you the data that Spotify itself has collected from all time. So even though not Last FM might have like more like comprehensive stats, it completely depends on when you join Last FM rather than being able to access like your entire Spotify history. So yeah, interesting things to consider.
Little throwback back in the day when you used to listen to the Lil Einstein's Trap remix on repeat back in 6th grade.
I wasn't that kid, bro. Maybe you were, but I was.
Miami's a different. It's a different place.
It's a different place.
You wouldn't understand.
I mean, I remember kids bumping the Lil Einstein's Trap remix at the back of the school bus.
We're going on a trip.
Favorite rocket ship zooming through the sky.
Hey,
Little Einstein.
Climb aboard and get ready to explore. There's so much to find. Little Einstein. Oh no.
Yeah, we just did that on the show, dude.
Well, enjoy your content. This is what you get for sticking with us for a year.
Yeah, what was I listening to in 6th grade, man? I don't think I got music streaming. My first music streaming app was Amazon Music, actually. And I almost exclusively listened to 80s music back in the day. Like, yeah.
Nah, you know, I used to not be a music streaming platform person either. I used for a long time, I don't remember how many years, I used Musi, which is an app in the App Store. And then there was a girl. And then that's all I'm going to say. And then I ended up on Apple Music. So, and I've been on Apple Music ever since. They're just draining money out of my pockets, so. And last but not least, a more genuine thank you like I promised at the beginning of the episode. I think we should just say thank you for sticking with us for the last year. It's been kind of crazy that the podcast has existed for a year as an official show. You know, I think we actually, if I'm doing this, we recorded our first episode like today.
Yeah.
A year ago today. Yes, because
okay, yeah.
We had recorded
we recorded the demo though.
No, but we recorded
the first episode. Yeah, we recorded Workaholics
on a Tuesday, and then it corrupted.
Yeah.
So we re-recorded on a Wednesday.
Man, look how far we come. Like we recorded Workaholics in the Andrews basement, and then we had to go back and run it twice.
Yeah,
there would be days.
To spin the block on the episode.
There would be days when we got kicked to like alumni. I remember when we had Joanne on the show, we had to record on like the alumni, like top floor.
The ghost's broom closet.
And we had to like tell someone to stop playing the piano because the sound was carrying up.
Yeah.
Man.
You know, we on the come up now. We making bands up in the studio. No,
bro, we getting out of the.
We making it out the hood.
But you know, I know I for sure have grown, not just like, you know, our friendship and sort of like who I am as a person, and having like a fun outlet to sort of talk about the things that are on my mind. Yeah. But even in just like technical things, like I've learned a lot more about like, you know, just audio editing. And, like,
we have a damn website.
Yeah, we have. You built a website. Like that's all you, man.
With a jingle.
That was huge. The jingle, yeah. Like we wrote and like I produced that. Like
I know. You know? I thought yesterday when I was being interviewed for this thing, I was talking about the podcast, and I was like, yeah, you know, he does all the sound and audio stuff. That's all him, and I just do website and social media. And like that's the split.
That's the split.
Then we just talk, obviously. But thank you for the year. We hope that you have enjoyed sticking with us for the last year. We hope that you are excited to see more. We hope to deliver, you know, better content.
Tell your friends about us. Please.
Yeah, that was a little... Yes. Spread the word. Spin the block on your ops, and as you're driving by, be like, TOPP, www.theoutapocketpodcast.com.
You getting down with TOPP?
Yeah, you know us.
Anyways.
But thank you, genuinely. And but that's all our time for today.
Yeah.
So
thank you so much. You've been listening to 101.1 FM, WBRULP, WFOOLP, WVVXLP Providence.
You can catch us on www.theoutapocketpodcast.com, and Outta is spelled Outta. Through our website, you can find our Apple Podcast, our link to our Apple Podcast, and our link to our Spotify. Speaking of, you know, the two on this episode, but yeah, go check us out through those links, and our Instagram's on the website too, so go check that out too, and get us to Spotify Wrapped next year.
Yeah, actually. Did you plug the contact page yet?
I did not.
Anyway, the contact page. You can contact us through our website. Shoot us an email. Let us know what you like, what you want to see, whether you want to be on the show. We're open to everything. Thank you so much once again for tuning into the Outta Pocket Podcast. We'll see you next week. And in honor of our 1-year anniversary, I'm going to let Ale take the Outta Pocket advice for this week.
The Outta Pocket advice is, be on the lookout in your inbox. The Outta Pocket Podcast Pickpocketed is coming soon with a breakdown of all the OPP episodes that you've listened to, your favorite segments, the most replayed sections of each episode. Just so yeah, keep a lookout on your inbox. Catch you guys later and take care.